subscribe to my sister's channel. She will also voice her favorite plots. Let's give her a big asset. There was a battle. Not an easy battle, but a battle of creatures on the level of the gods. It was a confrontation between the leader of Kara Jigen and the 7th Hokage of the unpredictable ninja Naruto Uzumaki. The fight had been going on for quite a long time. It was clear to see that Jigen was winning this battle. Naruto's inner world, Naruto, said the nine-tailed demon fox Kurama. Huh? Naruto asked, we have only one way to defeat him, but the price of this victory will be your life, Kurama said in a very serious tone. Naruto didn't think for long, because if he loses, then his son Boruto, his best friend Sasuke and his ward Kawaki will die. Tell Kurama, we must defeat him. Kurama grinned, completely unsurprised by his answer. This is my special mode that will make you much stronger than this Otsutsuki, but it uses your life energy and therefore after completing this mode you will die. Also this mode will last only 5 minutes, Kurama explained what kind of idea he had. Kurama held out his fist. Naruto punched his fist with a smile. The real world. Suddenly Naruto's mode changed. He felt a huge force. But he understood that he didn't have much time. Jigen noticed it too. He was shocked by the pressure that seemed to come from the almost dead 7th. The fight was exactly the same as in the manga, unknown, where God wanted to send the person he was watching to another world. He had several worlds in mind, such as a world where magic rules everything, where people participate in different guilds, or a world where angels fought demons. But his decision fell on the world where the higher beings of that world, who call themselves gods, descended. He summoned the soul of the hero of the 4th World War. It was golden and shone like the summer sun. The ball gradually changed shape. In the end, the ball turned into a man. Naruto's POV. He opened his eyes in surprise, not understanding why he was still alive. So this is the afterlife? Naruto wondered. Something like that. A voice answered his question. Naruto looked up in surprise and saw a man in old age. The man looked like an old, feeble old man, but Naruto felt from him a power that was incomparable. Are you a god? Or Shinigami? Yes, I am the supreme god, the elder smiled. I have been watching you since your childhood, and I really liked how you changed your fate no matter what. Well, after all, my life has come to an end, but everything has its advantages. I will finally be able to live with my parents. Naruto smiled at this prospect. Take your time, baby. God laughed at the face that Naruto had joked, because he had not been called a baby for a long time. I decided to send you to another world to watch how you will build your destiny there, the elder smiled. And I have no choice. Naruto already knew the answer in advance. Are you Wang Shou? God laughed. I don't know what it is, but it was obvious. Naruto also laughed. So where am I going? Oh, it's an interesting world. There are gods there, and they came down to earth because they were tired of heavenly life. These gods give blessings to people. Because of this, mortals get unimaginable power. Also another type of energy is used there instead of the chakra, but I will make it so that you can use the chakra, and before I go, I will fulfill one of your wishes for entertaining me for the last 20 years. Send my friend Kurama with me. Naruto did not forget about his friend. I know that you will ask for it. God smiled good-naturedly. He waved his hand and a portal appeared. Go boy, don't disappoint me. Naruto nodded and jumped into the portal. There was a carriage on the road. An old man, unremarkable in appearance, was sitting on it. A young man with wheat-colored hair was sleeping behind him. There were 3 stripes on each of his cheeks. After a few seconds, the young man opened his eyes. Scarlet eyes with vertical pupils, like blood itself, were born. This young man was Naruto Uzumaki. He looked around, not understanding where he was, but suddenly the memories of his conversation with God surfaced in his mind. He saw the old man in the front and asked, good afternoon, but who are you and where did I end up? The old man turned when he heard the voice. He was surprised when he saw the boy's eyes. I am a resident of a village that is nearby, and I picked you up when you were lying right on the road and thought you needed help. The old man smiled at you. Thank you very much, but where are we going? Naruto smiled at the kindness of the elder. Oh, you don't know where you were lying? We are going to Ororio, the labyrinth city. Ororio? Naruto had nothing to say. This name. The old man looked at him in shock. Don't you know what an Ororio is? I seem to have amnesia and I don't remember anything except my name. Naruto quickly got out. Well, it's not for nothing that he studied the art of ninja. You never introduced yourself. The old man smiled. Ah yes, where are my manners? I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto hit his chest and smiled broadly. And I'm John. Nice to meet you. The old man called his name. Likewise, the old man will tell you about this city. Naruto decided to find out where he was going. This big city in which there is a dungeon, because of which there is a large gathering of people and half people, so there are many families in which there are adventurers, half humans. A dungeon? Adventurers? Naruto felt stupid, because none of this was familiar to him. Oh, you've lost your memory. Semi-humans are races of intelligent beings who have similar traits to humans, but they also have their own characteristics, such as pointed ears or cat ears. A dungeon is a maze in which monsters are located, and I call the hunters adventurers. Naruto nodded, trying out the information. The most interesting thing in his story seemed to Naruto to be half people. God has already mentioned the rest. He really wanted to see these half people. How long until Ororio? Naruto asked. Approximately by tomorrow's calculation, we will be there while we rest at that lake. The old man pointed to the lake that was next to the road. Naruto nodded. They reached the lake and left it. Naruto went to the water and looked at his reflection. He was wondering if he had changed. In the reflection, he looked the same as when he was 14, but his eyes were red as blood itself and vertical pupils. Except for the eyes, nothing has changed. The pupils reminded him of his friend who was inside him. He tried to use the chakra, but he realized that he had very few chakras, less than he had back at the academy. It was very disappointing. He concentrated in order to get into his subconscious. Once there, he was surprised. Instead of a sewer there was a meadow with green grass. Looking around, he saw a larger fox that was sleeping in a clearing. He walked up to him and smiled slyly. He pulled his mustache. Kurama jumped in surprise. Looking at his source of irritation, he was shocked. The last memory was how he and Naruto died. What are you doing, Naruto? And how are we even alive? Kurama spoke in his low and very loud voice. Naruto smiled and explained the situation to him. These are the things of a flea mat. The blonde monologue finished. Are you saying that we got into another world at the whim of some god? A nod from Naruto. Well, better than death. Kurama sighed. Listen, Naruto, you're very weak right now, about the same as an ordinary civilian, and your chakras are at the same level. Naruto nodded with a frown. I hope we can fix this. Well, I will expand your chakra channels with my chakra and the hearth, too. Kurama did not cheer Naruto up much. What would I do without you, Kurama? The blonde smiled. Allah 32 is not the limit. I would have died a long time ago, he said like a piece of chicken. Well, we'll meet later for now. With these words, he came out of his subconscious and fell asleep on the soft grass. Naruto slept well. He was cheerful in the morning. The old man hasn't woken up yet, and until he wakes up Naruto wanted to see how many clones he could create. He folded the seal of the consent ration. Nothing happened. It is expected that with so many clone chakras it is not possible to maintain. Naruto nodded to himself. Well, until the hearth becomes a little more, the techniques are closed to me. An hour later, the old man woke up and they went out on the road again. After 5 hours, they saw a long wall on the horizon. Naruto whistled at me. Yes, it's much more than a leaf village. He smiled to himself. How do you like it? The old man asked him with a smile on his face. Big, Naruto answered briefly but clearly. Yes, too big, the old man agreed with him. What are you planning to do when you get there? The old man was wondering what this young man wanted to do. I'll find a family and become an adventurer. I don't have much choice, so I don't have to choose, although Naruto knew that even if he had a bunch of options, he would have become an adventurer anyway. Well, how do you imagine that the great ninja who was glorified as a demigod in his world will live an ordinary life? But for you, face with tears of joy, be careful, often such young people die in the dungeon because of their carelessness. The old man frowned a little because the boy in front of him had only recently reached adolescence. At that age people are very impulsive, and because of this they often do not think with their heads. But Naruto was an adult in the body of a child, and he was too experienced to die on the first floors. Yes, thank you very much for your concern, old man. Naruto smiled brightly and nodded. When they got to the Ororio gate, there was a large queue of people who wanted to enter the city. Some left with drooping faces as they had been checked. Naruto finally saw half people in this queue. He was in shock. Instead of human ears, some had sharp and some even had cat, wolf ears. There were also tails. For Naruto, this was a new discovery. A few hours later, it was their turn. The old man was missed. It looks like he was a frequent visitor here. But Naruto was stopped. See you soon, the old man waved and went on to the city. The guard started asking the usual questions such as, for what purpose did you come, or where are you from, and are you in the family? Naruto answered as is, okay, you passed. In order to get into the city, we have to check whether you really are not in the family. And how will you check? Naruto raised an eyebrow. Very simple. You need to drop this liquid on your back. The guard showed a small bottle with some red liquid. Naruto nodded and lifted his T-shirt. The guard's eyes widened. There can be so many scars on a teenager's body. Yes, it was very pumped up, because it looks like a frail guy. They were almost sure that he had lied about not being in the family. Naruto was also surprised because he didn't think that the scars from his previous life would also be transferred. The guard dripped liquid on the young man's back. As a result, they found out that he was not in any family. You can pass. The guard moved away from the road. Naruto nodded and went on into the city. At the very gates, the city was very busy. There were shops everywhere with food, with things and other things. Naruto didn't have any money. He had just realized that. He approached one shopkeeper and asked, where is the guild? The shopkeeper looked at him and pointed to the street with his hand. Go right there and the guild is located. Naruto nodded. Thanks old man. I'm not an old man, I'm only 56. The old man seemed offended by this. Naruto laughed and went where the old man pointed. Going further, he saw a lot of people and inhumans. There were also people in armor. These are probably adventurers. Naruto looked at them with little interest. Many of them were genin level, mid-first level, and it was rare to see adventurers of chunin level, third level. Well, their level of strength is not very good, but the number. Yes, they were weak and he had not yet met anyone who was at the level of jonin, but their number is very surprising. Finally, a huge building of white and sometimes green color caught his eye. He entered it. There were a lot of people here, too, and he noticed several people at the level of jonin, level 4. There were long racks with people standing behind them. He walked up to one of them. Behind the counter was a girl of 18 to 20 years old. She had sharp ears, a very beautiful face, and brown hair. She was wearing clothes that were also on the rest of the people behind the counters, but this uniform suited her very well. How can I help? The girl looked up from the papers and adjusted her glasses and looked at him with interest. I would like to become an adventurer, he said simply with a smile. Okay. She took some papers from under the table. Fill them out. She handed them to him. There were the same questions as at the entrance to the city. He filled them. Naruto Uzumaki, no family, 14 years old. I am Ina Tool and from now on I am your advisor. She held out her hand and Naruto shook it. Yes. Naruto smiled broadly, and where can I get a weapon on credit? He didn't have any money, but he needed a weapon to go to the dungeon, because he doesn't have the strength that he had to do without a sword. And in vain that he studied kenjutsu at the highest level. The guild gives out swords to beginners for free, then I would like a katana. Naruto looked at her with a smile. Go to that counter, they'll give you out there. Ina pointed to one of the counters behind him. Naruto nodded, and you have to find yourself a family. Yes, I know, I'll look later. Naruto nodded agreeing with her. Okay, I'll go. He waved to her and went to the weapons rack. Naruto took his new katana and went to the dungeon. It was not difficult to find her, because the tower above the dungeon was visible even from outside the city. Naruto was already close to the tower that pierces the heavens. A lot of people gathered in the alley in front of the entrance to the dungeon. There were also people with huge backpacks here. Naruto wondered what kind of people they were, but decided to find out later. Entering the tower, he saw a large pit in the center that served as the entrance to the dungeon. Naruto started down the stairs. Upon entering the first floor, he was just walking along the corridors. He also noticed that the walls were glowing, which was why there was at least some visibility, but for Naruto, darkness was not a problem because he saw everything here as in the daytime, that is, he saw everything in the dark because of his unusual eyes. On his belt he tied his new katana, which rested in a scabbard. In appearance, she was ordinary, although not only in appearance, Naruto felt that she could easily break. After walking a little further ahead, he saw one short freak with green skin. He understood from the stories that this goblin is a weak monster. Naruto looked at him attentively, and suddenly laughed. You should have seen the face of this freak. Wiping away the tears that came out, Naruto ran at him. The monster also noticed him and with a squeal of "Kia" ran at him. The blonde just waved his katana and the little head separated from the little calf. Immediately, the body disappeared into the haze, leaving behind a purple stone. Naruto came over and put it in the bag that was given to him along with the katana. It will be necessary to make storage scrolls. He nodded to his thoughts and wandered on. On the first floor, he met several more goblins, after which he went down to the second floor. There was also a painting. Further on the third floor there was also the same painting. Already at the fourth level, the monster began to walk in a group of 3 to 4 individuals. And now just such a group got in the way of our hero. They attacked him, but Naruto immediately killed the goblin by chopping off his head. He dodged the kobold's blow and kicked him in the jaw with his heel, which broke his neck with a loud crunch. And he impaled the next one on his katana. That's how easily he coped with this group. Naruto killed all the monsters from this floor, which were 23 goblins and 15 kobolds. Naruto decided to conquer the 5th floor and finish for today. On the 5th floor, groups of monsters increased their number and now there were frog monsters that were shooting their tongues. For Naruto, they were no problem anyway. Already when Naruto was about to get up, he heard a loud "Rrooaa." Naruto tensed his whole body and was about to run when a huge monster 2.5 meters tall came out from around the corner of the corridor into which he was running. He had the body of a man and the head of a bull. Naruto did not know what kind of monster it was, but he understood that he was at the level of Chunin. He understood that it would be very difficult for him to defeat him, perhaps he could even die. But he had nowhere to run, and in this maze you can easily get lost, which is comparable to death. Naruto pulled out his katana, and smiled devilishly. Well, finally I can have fun properly. Naruto grinned devilishly. Well, I'm finally going to have fun properly. The Minotaur looked furiously at his smile. It seems he was annoyed by the boldness of the blonde man standing opposite. How could such a bug dare to look at him like that? Was she afraid of death? The Minotaur furiously ran at Naruto. The blonde jumped to the side so as not to get hit by the monster. Naruto quickly regrouped. One mistake will cost him his life. He understood that perfectly well. Naruto quickly hit his katana into the side of the freak. Naruto was shocked, because the sharp katana didn't even cut him. Of course, he understood that he couldn't hurt him, but he couldn't even cut him. The Minotaur grinned at his opponent's weakness. He enjoyed the despair of his victims, but he realized that the blonde was not desperate in any way. It infuriated him. Ruwaya, the Minotaur growled again. Naruto didn't understand why he was so mad. His skin can be cut in any way, it won't work in the eye either, the blade is too wide, only a blow to the ear remains. Naruto nodded to himself. The monster ran at him again and swung his axe. Naruto dodged with difficulty and tried to accomplish his plan. The Minotaur, noticing this, repelled the blow with his horn. Naruto realized that he had failed and jumped back. The Minotaur attacked him again with his stone axe. Naruto dodged and hit him in the eye, blinding him in one eye. The Minotaur was furious how such a weak bug could injure him. The Minotaur's eye was bleeding profusely. The Minotaur quickly ran at the blonde. Naruto did not have time to dodge, so he decided to take a blow on his blade. From the impact, he was thrown against the wall. Naruto quickly strengthened his back with his chakra. The blonde didn't take much damage from the blow, but his katana was broken. He still decided to retreat, realizing that his chances of winning had decreased to 0, and the only way out of the situation was the corridor that was next to him. Seeing that his victim was running away from him, the Minotaur was pleased and smiled. He chased after him because his strongest desire was to swat this annoying fly. Naruto looked back and saw that the Minotaur was on his tail. He quickly ran through the turns, although he realized that he was already lost. At the next turn, he saw a wall. He was in shock. No, of course he wouldn't die here because he still had a chicken that would give him the power with which he could easily kill this trash. But there would be very dangerous consequences. His chakra circulation would be disrupted and broken. The Minotaur was very happy to see that his victim was cornered. It gave him manic pleasure. The poor monster did not understand that his death was behind his back. Naruto was about to ask for help from his friend, but then a red line appeared on the Minotaur's chest. Suddenly, a fountain of stinking blood poured on Naruto. Naruto was in shock. As soon as the monster disappeared into the haze, a cute and beautiful blonde appeared behind him. Naruto stared at her in surprise, surprised by her beauty, and she looked so fragile. But as they say, the appearance is soaked, and in fact she is a very strong adventurer. Naruto also felt from her what he felt from his best friend. It was a flame of revenge. Naruto didn't understand why, but he promised himself that he wouldn't let her hate consume him. "Are you okay?" In a sweet and monotonous voice, she asked, "Are you okay?" The blonde asked in a sweet and monotonous voice. Naruto blinked several times and smiled at the fact that he did not have to ring himself. "Yes," he answered happily. Naruto got up and with the help of a water technique that any genin could do washed off this stinking blood. A few seconds later, a half-human werewolf ran into the hall. He had gray hair and a gray tail. "Thank you for saving me." Naruto approached the blonde and bowed to her. "Don't thank me, you the one who sorry for letting the Minotaur escape from the lower floors." Naruto raised an eyebrow in surprise. "Well, the main thing is no one got hurt." Naruto smiled kindly. "It seems his task will not be so difficult." "I am Naruto Uzumaki." The blonde shook her head and introduced herself as, "I am Ice Wallenstein." "I will remember this name." Naruto scratched his chin. "Hey, stop ignoring me." The werewolf shouted angrily, "And who are you?" Naruto asked stupidly, "Don't you know who I am?" The werewolf was a little surprised. "Should I?" "I'm Beta Loga." The werewolf introduced himself. "And I'm Naruto." Naruto held out his hand. Beta shook it. He felt strength from the blonde. He was different from the rest of the weaklings, so you can remember him. "Okay, It's time for me to return to the surface. Naruto waved his hand and went to the exit from the floor. Wait, what family are you from? Ace asked. I don't have a family. Naruto scratched his head in embarrassment. Both members of the Loki family's eyes widened. How could a man without a veil hold out against the Minotaur for so long? Are you not lying? Beta asked Nescle Ko irritably. What's the point of lying to me? Naruto raised his eyebrow. Then join us. Ace decided to invite him. She didn't know what attracted her so much about him, but she was drawn to the red-eyed blonde. Is your family big? Naruto was interested. Yes, big. Beta said this because he was sure that he would accept their offer, even if there were problems with the rest of the family. He also, like Ace, wanted him to join them. An alpha aura emanated from the blonde. Then I have to refuse this offer. Naruto was embarrassed to refuse after he was rescued, but he did not like it when someone commanded him. Ace and Bet were shocked. No one refused such an offer, because even 3 levels are difficult to join their family. Why? Ace asked without emotion, but despite her voice, Naruto saw surprise deep in her eyes. I don't like it when someone commands me. Naruto explained this simple reason and said goodbye to them and left. POV The Loki family Ace and Beta were approaching their family's camp after finishing off the last Minotaur. Woohoo, Ace is back! Happily shouted one cute Amazon. Don't shout, Tiona, said another Amazon calmly, who was an exact copy of the first one except for her big breasts. Come on, Tioni said, pouting. Why did you stay there so long? The blonde Palom asked matter-of-factly. We met an interesting adventurer there who was being chased by the Minotaur. Beta replied. Interesting? Did our wolf cub say interesting? Tiona said in surprise. Shut up. Beta said in anger. Is he okay? Palom asked. There were no wounds on him. Finn, Ace replied shortly. So what were you talking about? Finn couldn't help but ask. I invited him to our family, she said as she cut off. What? Why did he run from the Minotaur the first time? Finn was surprised by this. No, he's not the first level. He doesn't have a face. Finn was amazed by this. How could a person survive in this situation? End POV Naruto was entering from the dungeon. He was glad to meet new people. A beautiful girl and a werewolf. Naruto was a little distracted by his luck that he was going to go to the guild in order to exchange crystals. You need to live on something. Smiling to himself, Naruto headed towards the guild. When Naruto was walking, he was talking to Kurama. Naruto, you need to be careful and join some kind of family. Today you almost decided not to be able to use your chakra, Kurama reproached the blonde. Come on, little fox, you think you almost died for us. This is an ordinary thing. Well, Kurama couldn't disagree with that. Anyway, you don't need to waste your second life. Kurama was still not satisfied. What are you going to do? Kurama suddenly asked in a serious tone. I mean what? Naruto wasn't surprised much. Literally, what are you going to do in this life? What is your goal? I thought about it a lot. Last time I didn't complete my duty to my surname, and I wanted to blame it on Boruto, but in this world I will revive the clan of red-haired demons, the Uzumaki clan. Kurama was very surprised, because he didn't think that Naruto would take it so seriously. Okay, not such a stupid dream as becoming a Hokage. At the last word, the fox laughed at the irritation of his carrier. This is not a stupid dream, you shaggy rug. Naruto was outraged by this and Kurama did not think to stop laughing. Fuck you. Naruto disconnected the connection with the fox. The blonde finally reached his destination. The guild seemed great no matter how much you looked at it. Once inside, he immediately went to the exchange counter. After he exchanges the stones, he will talk to Aina and go to look for a place to stay for the night. He poured out all the stones to the exchanger and received 20,000 valis for it. Naruto didn't know if it was a lot or not. He looked around the great hall in search of his advisor. A cute elf was standing next to the counter and reading some papers. Naruto went to her. Hello Aina. He waved to her and walked up to her. Oh, hi Naruto, how was your first day? Did you like it? Aina was smiling at him. Yes, very much. It would have been perfect if it hadn't been for the bull man who almost swatted me. Naruto said it as if about something ordinary. Yes, UPR. What? Bull man, like the torso of a man and the head of a bull? Aina was horrified by her assumption. Yes, and how did you know? Naruto tilted his head to the side. You met the Minotaur, are you okay? How did you save yourself? Aina was in shock. Well, I fought with him until my katana broke. In confirmation of his words, he showed the handle of a katana that did not have a blade. Well, then Ace Wallenstein saved me. You, terribly lucky. The elf was of course surprised that a man without a veil was fighting a level 2 monster, but the joy of being rescued was much greater. Yes, and by the way, tell me about Ace and her family. Ace Wallenstein is a level 5 adventurer, one of the leaders of the big Loki family. She also has the nickname Princess of the Blade or Princess of War. She seems to be famous. Naruto nodded with a thoughtful face. Suddenly, a girl of about 14 years old ran into the guild, with black hair with 2 tails. She had blue eyes like the ocean itself. Aina Bella didn't come back here? What is it? She asked anxiously. No, the elf was also surprised. Then with every second came the horror of understanding that her ward could die. She said she was going down to the 5th floor today. We need to send a search team, the girl said with tears in her eyes. I'll find her, Naruto suddenly said. The girl turned to him and looked with her bottomless eyes into his blood-red eyes. Find her and I, the goddess Hestia, will be in your debt. Naruto was surprised. He certainly felt that something was wrong with this girl, but the goddess? Okay. With these words, he rushed to the exit of the guild. Today was, as always, a normal day, rising at 5 in the morning and a dungeon for the rest of the day. Bella decided today that she is strong enough to go to the 5th floor. In the beginning, she easily coped. This floor differed from 4 only in number, while on the 4th floor there are 3 to 4 goblins in one group, now only a maximum of 5 to 6. So Bella didn't put herself in much danger by coming down here. It's just that Aina was exaggerating everything. Bella nodded, smiling to her thoughts. She was very glad to be taken care of so much. Bella had just dealt with a group of kobolds and goblins, although now there was only one frog. Bella was walking on. Suddenly she heard a crash behind her. She quickly took out her dagger. Kobolds and goblins with Sagittarius frogs were falling out of the walls. But not this, and not a large amount. She was surprised by Matelek, who was flying, pouring off some kind of pollen. She realized that it must be poison. Bella realized that she could escape because the monsters surrounded her. There were somewhere around 20 to 30 monsters. Bella was very scared, but she didn't want to die like that. She decided that she would not survive and see her goddess again, and plus she has not yet tasted the taste of love. Here Belle is not as shy as Orage. Sorry, but sometimes his innocence pisses me off. She suffered for about 10 minutes until she realized that a kobold was about to attack her from behind and she didn't have time to dodge. But then the kobold's neck snapped. Bella was surprised by this. As soon as the kobold disappeared behind him, she saw a guy with wheat-colored hair. He had 3 stripes on his cheeks, but that didn't surprise her. His eyes were red just like hers, but instead of the usual pupils, he had vertical ones. He looked very much like a fox. He was wearing orange clothes with black lines, as in Orig after he returned from his training with Jiraiya. Give me your dagger, he said in a very calm voice, as if they were not surrounded. Bella didn't know why, but she gave him the dagger in an instant. But hearing his voice and seeing his such mesmerizing eyes, her heart skipped a beat. Bella was shocked. A few minutes later a lone blonde man was standing on the battlefield surrounded by a pile of stones. She was consumed by his battle, no, not so by his dance. He was cutting monsters, but it wasn't rude. He moved gracefully as if he was dancing. Unlike the rest of the adventurers who just cut monsters, the blonde cut their necks. Naruto ran into the dungeon like an old man. No matter how much he matured, he did not lose the habit of helping everyone and everything, which Naruto was only happy about. He was carrying on the floors without paying any attention to the monsters. He ran into the 5th floor. After a few turns he saw a large group of monsters. And in the very center of the group was one white-haired beauty. She had ruby, red eyes. Naruto didn't have time to enjoy the beauty of the girl, because her life was stolen by the kobold behind her. Naruto jumped through the monsters and quickly wrung the neck of an unsuspecting kobold. "Give me the knife," he said in a calm voice so as not to frighten the poor thing. Naruto was very surprised when the girl gave the knife without thinking. But it's even better. Naruto rushed at the monsters with a smile. After 5 to 6 minutes, he already handed over the gourda to all the monsters. It wasn't difficult. Turning to the girl, he was very surprised when he saw that she was looking at him blushing. Naruto was reminded of how his Hinata blushed when she looked at him as a child. Naruto smiled brightly at the shy girl. "Hey, are you okay?" "What is it?" he asked in a soft tone. The girl blushed even more and nodded. "What's your name, beauty?" The blonde grinned. He didn't know why, but he already liked to tease the platinum blonde Bella. "Bella Cranel," the girl answered very shyly, "and I'm Naruto Uzumaki. It's nice to meet such a nice girl like you." Naruto did not lie about this. He really liked the girl in front of him, both with her behavior and her beauty. After the fight he finally considered her. She had plump scarlet lips, cute big red eyes, and most importantly, plump cute cheeks. Just the author to be dragged from the cheeks. Naruto held out his hand to her. It was clear that steam was already coming out of the girl's ears, but she still shook the hand of her new acquaintance. Bella was surprised. That's why he didn't have a dagger. It looks like he ran here in a hurry to save her. Because of this, butterflies swirled in the cutie's stomach. Bella nodded and they went to the exit of the floor. Then they walked all the way in silence. Bella was embarrassed to start a conversation, and Naruto just didn't want to embarrass the poor thing even more. People passing by them were smiling. From the outside, they looked like a cute couple. And what else? A cute blushing girl and a cheerfully smiling guy. You don't often meet this. But they were very wrong about this, because the couple only met half an hour ago. Faced with tears of joy, it was already getting dark on the street, but right at the entrance to the guild there were 2 girls, one elf, the other low but with great dignity. As soon as the miniature goddess saw them, she jumped on the poor girl with tears, who blushed even more from this. Naruto was glad to see this close relationship. It was clear that the goddess appreciates her child very much. She finally looked at him. "Thank you very much," the goddess bowed. Naruto was shocked. "No, do not bow, you should not worship. After all, you are a goddess, and I am glad to save the girl in the dungeon, just like in the fairy tales that children are told here." Naruto smiled heartily at the goddess. Hestia nodded at him. "Tell me the name of your god or goddess so that I can personally thank him." Naruto smiled at her. "I don't have a god, so your gratitude is enough for me." Naruto laughed. "What? Are you not a member of the family? Don't you want to join my family?" She asked hopefully. "How many people do you have in your family?" Naruto was interested. "Oh, 1, but this is just the beginning." He could not finish as the blonde interrupted her. "Perfect." Naruto really thought it was perfect. "What? Why?" The brunette was very surprised by this reaction. "Well, I don't like it when someone commands me." Naruto laughed awkwardly. Even he understood that this was a stupid reason. "That's even better," the goddess happily said. She wouldn't have believed him if she couldn't find out if a mortal was lying, but a man hasn't lied to her yet. The red-eyed Dobro laughed at the naivety of the miniature goddess. Well, because he didn't know that she could find out when a person was lying. Well, in a word, these two considered each other naive, although both were wrong. While they were negotiating their terms, Aina scolded her ward, not out of anger, she just cared about her very much. How many times have I said that you should not overdo it in search of adventure? Do you even know how worried I was? But let's leave it at that. Are you okay? Yeah. She answered briefly and suddenly blushed. Can you tell me about him? He pointed at the laughing Naruto with a glance. Aina first made a stupid face, and then suddenly grinned. She realized that Bella had fallen in love with him. Naruto Uzumaki does not belong to any family. Today began his journey as an adventurer. Bella was simultaneously happy, surprised and upset. Happy because she could stand next to him and there was no huge gap between them. I am surprised how a man without a veil fought like that, and I am saddened because it hurt her pride a lot, because she has been an adventurer for 2 weeks. Seeing her condition, Aina smiled and reassured her, don't think about it too much, he probably trained a lot before becoming an adventurer. Bella suddenly beamed. Aina laughed at how quickly the girl's mood was changing. She was so open and kind. Naruto, Hestia and Bella said goodbye to Aina and went to where Bella and the goddess lived. After a while they left the main road and went into the alleys. Naruto followed them with interest. A couple of minutes later they came out of the alleys and walked towards the ruins. There stood a lonely dilapidated church. Naruto was surprised when they entered there. In the basement there was a room in which there was a bed and a sofa. Although this place looked poor, it seemed so cozy, so Naruto even liked it. Hestia and Bella seemed a little embarrassed by their poverty. Great place, the blonde nodded with a smile. To say that the girls were surprised to say nothing, how can someone like such a place? Well, Naruto lived in a place worse than this. Hestia nodded, take off your shirt and lie on the bed with your stomach forward. Naruto nodded and lay down on the bed, exposing his back. Bulla and Hestia were very surprised when they saw his manly body, although he looked only 14. Hestia sat on his back and began to shamanize, it will hurt a little, be patient, Naruto nodded to her. Different emotions flashed on the goddess's face all the time, but shock stood out most of all. She put the piece of paper on his back and the symbols appeared on the piece of paper themselves. Naruto Uzumaki race, human age 14 UR, 1 power I0 dexterity L0 speed L0 chakra L0 endurance skills, magic, fox mode, possibly evolution, shadow clone seals a phrase that came to life Liari freeze, the speed of development depends on the emotion, Bell has it because of A's. And Naruto will have it because of the desire to protect his friends, so that later they don't say in the comments that Naruto can have it, so that's what his status is. Naruto nodded to himself, why do you have a chakra instead of magic? She thought Naruto should know what it was, because she didn't know anything about it herself. What is it? This is a special energy that only my clan has. What kind of clan? Hestia had never heard of such, a long, slaughtered clan that lived hiding from everyone. Actually, in order to revive it, I came to this city. Naruto smiled at his goddess, you, a special person, not everyone has 3 skills in a phrase that came to life from the very beginning, Naruto nodded. So Bella, let's update yours. Naruto came out so as not to embarrass the girl. Hestia was surprised when she saw that Bella had exactly the same animated phrase. According to the story that was written in her status, the goddess realized that Naruto was the cause of this phenomenon and it looks like the girl is in love with him. Bella Cranal race, human age 14 UR, 1 power, L60, L89 speed, L99, H135 dexterity H101-141 mage L0, L0 endurance, L63, L98 skills, animated phrase Liari freeze. Bella was surprised by her jump. It was a dramatic increase in performance. Naruto smiled when he saw the beaming face of his new girlfriend. It looks like she has pumped well. Today everyone had a hard day and everyone can go to bed. Saying this, Naruto jumped on the sofa. Bella looked at the sofa with great desire. It looks like she wanted to lie down on the sofa, but Naruto had already taken a seat, but in fact Bella wanted to lie down in the arms of the blonde. The platinum blonde slapped her hands on her face so that she would not be disturbed by such thoughts. Hestia and Bella lay down on the bed next to each other. Looking at them, Naruto got excited. A good picture opened up from his position. The blonde sharply slapped himself in the face. What kind of thoughts were going through his head? Naruto realized he was going through a transitional age again. Well, in short, in one word, fucked up. Naruto lay down trying to fall asleep, but he fell asleep oh so soon. Early in the morning Naruto woke up. He felt a weight on his chest. Finally, when his vision became normal, he saw white hair right under his nose. They smelled good. Naruto blushed terribly. Not well. Imagine a 35-year-old man blushing because of a teenager on his chest. It looks like the riot police will arrive there soon, but this is a story for another time. Ahem, where we left off. Oh yes, the blonde suddenly felt cramped in his pants. He was in and in his thoughts shouted, "Get down, skatin'." But no one listened to him. Suddenly the girl started to wake up. Naruto was scared. She opened her eyes and blushed too when she saw the beautiful face of her new friend in front of her. Suddenly she felt something hard pressing against her groin. At first she didn't understand what it was, but then she understood how. It became redder than it was before. With unprecedented speed, she jumped away from him and went to the bathroom in an eerie and awkward silence. Naruto was already burning with shame. He didn't want his new acquaintance to think he was a pervert. As soon as Bella came out, Naruto said, "Sorry Bella, it happened by accident, now I have a transient." He did not have time to finish as he was interrupted by a blonde. "Yes, it's my fault for this." She was still blushing as she dressed in her coat. Hestia was still sleeping. Naruto fell asleep in his clothes, so he was ready to hit the road. They left the house together and walked towards the city. They were walking down the main street, and Naruto abruptly noticed someone's gaze on his back. He felt such a threat that he felt only from Madara and Kaguya. He turned sharply and was ready to hit the one who was standing behind, but stopped when he saw a gray-haired girl. She got scared and moved back a little. Naruto bowed to her in apology. "I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose." Reflex, "It's okay, it's my own fault for coming up to you from behind." The girl smiled awkwardly. Naruto nodded to her without denying it. "There's no need to deny the truth." The girl stretched out her hand and showed a stone in it. "You dropped it yesterday passing by." Naruto was surprised, because he thought he had given everything. But still nodding, he took the stone. "You're going to the dungeon so early, you must be hungry," the girl said, smiling sweetly. "No," Naruto replied, he really wasn't hungry. But her companion's stomach betrayed her. Naruto smiled at this. It looked so cute when Bella blushed. He would soon be addicted to it. The gray-haired girl laughed softly and ran to the pub behind her. "Wait," Naruto decided to wait. She quickly came running and gave Bella the box. "Take it, you look very hungry." Bella waved her hands. "No, it's not worth it, you probably cooked it for yourself." "Nothing, I'll eat when the pub opens." Bella, very embarrassed, took the box and thanked her, "And in return, you will have dinner here in the evening." Naruto understood her plan. What a sly ass. Naruto smiled. "Of course, wait for us today." The gray-haired woman nodded and they went further towards the guild. Having reached this point, they immediately went to their advisor. They informed her that they were in the same path, and went to the dungeon. Naruto wanted the girl to practice a little in the maze, so he let her kill most of the monsters, and he stood on the safety net. Bella realized that she should not worry because Naruto was ready to save her at any moment. The blonde was surprised by how quickly Bella adapts. By the end of the day, they still came out of the dungeon. they exchanged crystals and went towards their house. They also wanted to take the goddess with them to have dinner. "Hestia, will you come to the pub with us for dinner?" The goddess wanted to agree, but then she saw Bella's pleading eyes. Hestia understood what she wanted. Hestia of course wanted to pohat, but she didn't want to interfere with the blonde. "No, I have to go to the corporation at work today." "Well, then we'll bring you something from there so that you can eat after your corporation." Hestia nodded and threw on some kind of cloak. She left the house and left in the direction of the city. Naruto and Bell, having washed, also went towards the city. After a while, they were standing in front of the pub. Running past, Sire saw the couple out of the corner of her eye. Smiling, she went to invite them inside. "Come in, that you are standing on the street." Sire smiled. Of course. Having said that, they entered the pub. There were a lot of adventurers here. Naruto smiled, feeling the atmosphere of this place. He was glad he came here. He and Bella sat down at a small table for two. They ordered lunch for themselves, and just talked while sitting there waiting for their order. Sire sat down with them. "Isn't it time for you to go to work?" Bella asked a little irritably. It looks like she annoyed her with something. Naruto didn't know why. "Mamma Mia gave me a break," she replied matter-of-factly. Naruto nodded. He was only glad of it, the more the better. "This job is like a hobby for me. There are so many different people here, and I really like watching them, listening to their stories." Naruto nodded with a smile. Everyone has their own cockroaches. For example, he has a cockroach with the name Kurama, such with 9 boasts and such a harmful one. Kurama sneezed in his subconscious. Then, in silence, they were eating their dishes when suddenly some noise started at the front door. Naruto was wondering what was going on there. Looking there, he saw a small group of people, preceded by a red-haired girl. Naruto realized that she was a goddess by her aura. "Regular customers, Naya," said the cat girl at the entrance. A little later, the blonde saw his acquaintances from yesterday. Among the newcomers were Ace and Bet. The group sat down in the center of the room. Naruto decided to say hello to Ace and Beta. He stood up, saw Bell and Cyrus surprised out of the corner of his eye. Despite all the surprise, his companion got up and followed him. Naruto smiled at this hello to Beta, Ace. The conversations at the table stopped. They were wondering who was talking so familiarly with the leaders of the Loki family. "Oh hi," the blonde said without emotion, but with a note of surprise. "Where did you come from?" There was a clearer surprise in Beta's voice. He did not expect to meet his new friend so soon. He had already decided to make friends with him, because he felt that he had a great future. I just decided to have dinner with a member of my family." Naruto smiled and pointed to his lovely companion. Beta was surprised that he found the family so quickly. He wanted to say something, but he was interrupted. "Would you like to introduce us?" the yellow-haired Paolum asked calmly. "Oh, yes, of course. This is the captain of our family, Fin Daimyo, this old elf Reveria, another elf Lafia, those 2 Amazon twins Tiona and Tioni." That dwarf Gareth casually introduced his family to Beta. Naruto was surprised when he called that very beautiful elf old. "And this is the seeker we met on the 5th floor, Naruto Uzumaki." "Nice to meet you," Naruto said. "Likewise," Fin said calmly. As soon as Reveria saw this boy, she immediately became interested in him, because he had some other energy instead of magic. She felt it. She will definitely find out from him in the future what kind of energy it is. "Which family have you joined?" the Sword Princess asked calmly. "To Hestia's family." "And what?" "To the family of this baby." The previously silent drunk goddess shouted in shock. "Yeah," Naruto laughed at that note. "Sit down with us, it's more fun together," Tiona said with an air. Naruto was only glad of this. Of course, saying this, he took 2 chairs for himself and Bella, and they sat down at the table of one of the strongest families in Orario. Finn wanted to talk to Naruto personally to get to know him for sure, and not from the stories of others. Tell Naruto about yourself. Why did you come to Orario? Do you have a goal here? Finn decided to see what he would answer to this. I'm an ordinary person, and my goal here is to restore my clan. Naruto just smiled. He realized that his interlocutor was probably checking him out. An ordinary person can resist a minotaur for almost half an hour, and instead of magic, you have another energy, Reveria said in a calm voice. Naruto smiled. It looks like she has a good sense of magic, since she noticed it. I trained before I came to Orario. I have a different energy, because this is a feature of my clan, Naruto replied with a smile, not a bit worried. You lied in the first part of your answer. Naruto was surprised when the red-haired woman noticed his lie. He certainly trained in the last world, but in this world everything started from scratch. The blonde was annoyed, which doesn't happen often, because it seems the gods have a way to find out if a person is lying. In another way, she could not recognize his lies. He is his mother's former ninja and not a simple ninja, but the Hokage himself. Finn, Reveria, and Gareth saw a momentary irritation on the face of the red-eyed blonde. They realized that Tom did not really like that he was found out. Naruto quickly corrected himself. Well, everyone has their own skeletons. Naruto replied with a smile. I don't have to answer all your questions, he answered without a smile and with a serious voice, thereby making it clear that further questions are not welcome. You right, everyone has their own skeletons. Finn did not like the fact that his interlocutor lied, but it seems that he also has negotiation skills. He became more and more dangerous. It was necessary to find out whether he was an enemy or a friend. How is your stay in our lovely city? Finn asked with a smile. He also has conversation skills. Oh, the city itself is very beautiful and lively. I liked it, but the dungeon. It's a masterpiece. I haven't been in such adventures for a long time. It seemed to everyone that he spoke as if he hadn't found a worthy opponent for a long time, which was surprising, because only the first level was sitting in front of them. Well, how could they know that in front of them sat a man who in a previous life was called a demigod, the strongest man in the world on an equal footing with his best friend Sasuke? Well, how does time pass in your dungeon? Naruto, you really were wondering what one of the strongest families in Orario is doing in the dungeon. Oh, we have much more interesting and more fun than on the upper floors. Our monsters are more unique and strong. We open new floors by doing expeditions. Tiona answered the blonde's question cheerfully. Naruto nodded. I hope I'll get there soon too. Everyone laughed at him. Naruto was annoyed. What's funny? Hahaha, and you funny, you still a long way from us, Beta replied laughing. Let's see what you'll say in 6 months. Naruto was already seriously annoyed. After his words, everyone in the pub laughed even harder. Naruto was already at the limit. It seems his age has a stronger influence on him. Without saying another word, he stood up and only made it clear with a glance to Bella that they were leaving. Passing by the counter, he threw money and left with Bella. What's wrong with him? Ace asked in surprise. Everyone knew that she didn't really understand the atmosphere. Well, how do you like him, Finn? Gareth asked. Interesting guy, he replied seriously. Yes, very interesting, the green-haired elf said thoughtfully. The other 2 leaders of the family were surprised. It had not been for a long time that Reveria was interested in someone. Naruto left the pub and walked towards the house. He noticed that Bella was worried about him. Hey, don't worry, Naruto laughed when the girl looked at him in surprise. It's all the Harmon's dancing Lizjinka. The blonde laughed at his joke. Bella smiled and nodded. I hope you won't have any problems with them. The blonde began to worry again. No, it will ruin their reputation if they take revenge for this. Naruto put the poor thing to rest. Naruto was very happy to understand that the girl took great care of him. although they had only known each other for a couple of days. The blonde promised himself that he would protect her even at the cost of his life. She entered his heart as a good friend, and we know what kind of heart Naruto has. Bella calmed down when she realized this. There was no reason for a family like Loki to get naked like that. Naruto remembered that he had promised to buy Hestia something. He hit himself in the face. The blonde was surprised by his actions. What happened? I forgot to buy Hestia dinner. Let's go, there's a shop nearby that works around the clock. Bella was happy to help him with this. Naruto smiled at her. Thank you, so that I would do without you. He stroked her on the head. Sarada seemed to like it, and she should like it. Bella quickly blushed. She did not expect this, but was glad for such close contact. They bought potatoes, which, according to Bella, Hestia really liked. And we went home. The share to the house. They gave dinner to their goddess, and gave her dinner before updating their statuses. Soon she finished and Naruto lay down on the bed taking off his shirt. Hestia sat on it and started drawing something on her back. Naruto Uzumaki race, human age 14 UR, 1 power I0, L10 dexterity, L0-10 speed, L0-15 chakra, L0-5 endurance skills, magic, fox mode, possibly evolution. Shadow clone seals a phrase that came to life. Liari Frizz. The speed of development depends on emotion. Hestia got up from him. It seems nothing unusual happened to him today since the status has not changed so much. Naruto came out to have Hestia and Bell update the status. After a couple of minutes, he heard a scream from the room. He thought something had happened, so he quickly entered the house. He was surprised when he saw Bella with a naked top on which there was only a bra and Hestia with shocked eyes. Bella blushed terribly and threw a pillow at Naruto. Naruto quickly left the room realizing the situation. You can come in, he heard the voice of the goddess. Upon entering, he immediately bowed and apologized to Bella, so she accepted his apology with a nod, because she understood that he was not particularly to blame for what had happened. And why did you scream like a cut? Naruto couldn't help but ask. Look here, she handed him a piece of paper. Bella Cranal race, human age 14 UR, 1 power, L89, H120 speed, H135, H190 dexterity, H141, G215 mage, L0 endurance, L98, H160 skills, an animated phrase. Wow, well done Bella, you pumped well. The blonde praised his partner. It's all thanks to the fact that you let me kill all the monsters. Bella smiled at him. Hestia thought about how much the girl's feelings had developed in a couple of days, although it seems that she herself did not understand it yet. Hestia laughed at the situation. Then they went to sleep. Naruto woke up today with no heaviness on his chest, which he was glad of. He noticed that the room smelled of something delicious. This was Bella who cooked in the kitchen. She cooked scrambled eggs and they had no other product. Naruto went and sat down behind a chair. Bella noticed his presence. Good morning, she said with a smile. Good morning, he will answer her with a smile. Bella put 2 plates on the table and sat down on a chair herself. They ate in silence. Naruto was thinking that he needed to buy himself a katana. He broke the last one. Bella, where can I buy a new weapon? He asked her, remembering that she knew where the food shop for the goddess was located. From this he decided that she was a little familiar with the city. Well, you can buy it right in the Tower of Babel. Bella replied thoughtfully. Well, before we go there, we'll buy both for me and for you. Naruto dissipated over Bella's surprised face. Naruto was thinking about it yesterday. Yes, on the initial floors when the monsters are not so big, the dagger will do, but if she wants the same minotaur. Oh, it won't be easy. But I don't know how to use it. Hearing this, Bella nodded decisively. She was only too happy to spend more time with her idol. As soon as they finished their breakfast, they went to the dungeon, deciding not to go to the guild today. They wouldn't have much time anyway because of the purchase of katanas. Naruto specifically walked around yesterday's pub. He didn't like that platinum blonde from that pub, he felt some kind of threat from her. Well, as they say, out of harm's way. When they reached the tower, they immediately went to the floor where they sold cheaper than on the floors below. They bought 2 seemingly ordinary katanas for 10,000. Naruto still has 30,000 valis left. He looked at Bella and wondered if she was missing something. He thought for a while. Under his gaze, the poor thing blushed. And then it dawned on him that she was wearing only a breastplate from her armor. They went to the armor shop and began to look. Naruto found a good light armor. It was all white with a red line. There were 2 pairs, male and female. The blonde man was glad of such luck. He looked at the initial on the breastplate and saw, Wealth Croso. They went to the seller's side and paid them 15,000 valis. Immediately in the store they put them on. Naruto felt the lightness and quality of the work. He remembered their initial. They went down to the first floor to the entrance to the dungeon. They were surprised when they saw a large crowd of people at the entrance. "What's up there?" Naruto asked. Bella shrugged her shoulders. Naruto asked one of the passers-by and found out that preparations were underway for the Monstrophilia festival. That's the end of it.